hope you guys can all agree with me when I say that it has been way too long since I've been on here. It's been probably like 2 weeks. So I hope you guys agree and hope that you guys have missed me posting videos. So I was going to wait until I got like all my fall decorations up so that I can do like my fall edition introduction. So when you see the fall edition in like the thumbnail, when you're scrolling through the YouTube videos, you'll know that it is either a soup, like a chili or stew, because those are fall friendly, you know, comfort foods. We love our soups and stews during the fall. So you could say this is kind of part of the introduction. The first soup that I'm going to make is a potato and leek soup, and it is really easy, which is one of the reasons why I decided to make it my first like fall edition video. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'm happy to be back. I miss you guys, really. Hey, so aside from the other prep that I have done, I figured this part with the leeks and with the scallions, I'm going to show you, just in case it's something that you've never dealt with before, what part you keep and what part you kind of get rid of. So we're gonna get rid of, so this is the white part, and then once it starts to kind of fade, like it kind of does like an ombre type thing, some people might know what I'm referring to, that's where you cut it at. Oh, I gotta sharpen my knife. And then you get rid of not all of the green parts. So I've seen people do this and they get rid of like almost all the green. I don't like to do that. I like to get rid of, like, see where it starts being green? I do it about halfway in between because I like that green part, and you can choose to do really whatever you want. So I've rinsed these already, and then cut them down the middle. Not just rinsed, I'm sorry. If you just rinse them, it doesn't really do the job. So I soaked them. Sorry, I soaked them in water. So then I cut them in half, and then I'm gonna cut these in half again. And then I'm just gonna chop all the way down. I'm gonna do this with both of these. And then I have another leek that I'm gonna do this with. So I'm going to do that. And then with the scallions, we're just going to cut off about 2 inches away from like the kind of sprout end. And then we're just gonna give them a chop. So half of this is going to be used in the soup. Or, I'm sorry, about 3/4 of this is going to be used in the soup. And then we're going to reserve a little bit of it for the garnish on top of the soup. Okay, so I was going to do this off camera, but just to give you a better idea, I already cut this in 1/4. And then, well, in half and then in half again. So they're cut in quarters. So the leeks, just gonna give them, I'd say about 1/2 inch for each slice. And then I have one more leek that I'm going to do this with. And then we'll be moving forward. So we're ready to make this soup, guys. I'm going to show you everything that you need to assemble to make this. And once you get done with your prep, and the prep, honestly, out of all my soups, this is probably the easiest one, the quickest one. So I have about, I think it was 10 medium potatoes that I left the skins on. It's optional, you can take the skins off. And these are yellow potatoes that I have cubed into about half-inch cubes. I have 2 leeks that I showed you already how to prep. The scallions, I also showed you how to prep. We have 1 each medium red onion and yellow onion. I have about, because who doesn't love garlic? I have about 8 cloves of garlic. You can use less, you can use more, do whatever you want to do. I just love garlic and everything. And then for our seasonings, super easy. We have a half a teaspoon each of sea salts, fresh ground black pepper, cayenne pepper, and dill weed. Dill weed, I think, is a great seasoning for this particular soup. I think it works amazing because dill, for some reason, growing up, I mean, maybe it's the Polish in me, it just goes with potatoes. So I'm gonna be using, you can use just water. Spring water is what I use as far as water goes in cooking. But I have vegetable broth. I got the collagen today only because it was $1.99 and it's never failed me. I like the product. And then if we need to add more liquid to the mixture, we're going to use spring water. Mine right now is Bowl and Basket from ShopRite because that's where I shopped today. So we're going to move on to putting everything in our pot. So I have my pan going, it's nice and hot. And the first step is going to be, we're gonna add a little bit of grapeseed oil, which I didn't mention in the assembly. I just put about a teaspoon of grapeseed oil in the pan. And like I said, the pan is already nice and hot, so. We can just add everything right away. So what we're gonna be adding to the pan is the onions. And we're gonna let them cook down for about 2 minutes. And we're gonna keep on stirring them up. So right now we're bringing our vegetable stock and water to a boil. And then the onions have become pretty translucent. So we're gonna add the garlic to them and let it saute for about another 2 minutes. And then we're gonna start adding everything to the pot to make the soup. So what I did was I used 2 containers of vegetable broth and 3 cups of spring water. So we're on our way. So our water is pretty much boiling. So the first thing that we're gonna add to it is our potatoes. And I'm going to add our onion mixture that we had sauteing. Onions and garlic. I'm gonna throw that in. And also add our leeks. And then we're gonna cover this and we're going to let it cook for about 20 minutes. So we've had everything simmering our vegetable broth and our leeks, potatoes, added water. So now we're just gonna add most of our scallions. So you saw how many I chopped. I'm gonna reserve a little bit for the topping, and then the seasonings. And this is going to simmer for about another 5 minutes. And then we're going to move on to the immersion process. Just to give you a heads up, you can either let this cool down a little bit and you can add all of it little by little to a blender or NutriBullet or whatever you're using, or you can use an immersion blender and keep everything in the pot. So I like to have more chunks in my soup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the immersion blender, but I'm not going to use it for like super long, because when you do that, you turn it into a complete puree, which is not what I want to do. I like to still have chunks of potatoes. I like to see parts of the leek in my soup. So it's all up to you. Whatever it is that you want to do is fine. Okay, so now that we've had this simmering, we're ready to use, like I said, you can use your immersion blender. This way, you can keep it all in one pot. Okay, so yeah, I'm finished. This is just how I like it. So I still have some chunks of potatoes in there. I still have like the leek going on. Like you can still see the leek in there. So it's still nice and steaming and hot. And as you can see, it has kind of pureed a little bit of the potatoes. There we go. Kind of pureed the potatoes a little bit, but at the same time there's still some chunks. You see the leek going on in there, and we have a nice, gorgeous, see that nice big chunk of potato? Nice, gorgeous soup to add to our fall edition or autumn line. So hope you guys really enjoy making this yourselves. Fall is definitely the time for great soups and stews. So our soup is finished, and it has cooled down enough for me to try in front of you all. You can come in here. It's not a problem.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah, I don't care.
Oh.
So it's all done. See all the steam coming from it. Everybody in the background feels like they have to be so quiet. Like, no. When I first started filming, I was like, stay out of my kitchen. Nah, go away. I have enough pressure already. But I'm comfortable now. Nobody bothers me. The more the merrier. So we're gonna try our soup. It's still very hot, but oh wow. So my son is whispering to his girlfriend right now, like, come on,
let's go.
We're supposed to go out, we're supposed to go do this, and there's no need to whisper. Go. Have fun. They're actually gonna go to my job right now.
This is your full idea.
Have fun.
Wait, can you learn how to make a French onion?
Oh,
Yes.
She can make everything.
So she just requested that I make French onion soup, vegan.
Bye, girl.
That was already on my list. Bye. Have a good night, guys. Get home safe. So yes, French onion soup, vegan, already on my list. All right, so I'm gonna stop eating this. You guys, please let me know if you liked it, if you tried it, if you made it yourself. Like, share, comment, subscribe, turn your notifications on, and everybody have a wonderful fall. And I'm gonna share way more soups and stews and chilies and all that type of stuff. Have a great night.